I need to get a phone charging cable for in here too at some point. Okay. All right, I'm about to go on in about 8 seconds. Just so you know. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Marked by Wrestling. I've relocated, not to like Mississippi or anything, just another room in the house. So if you can get used to the new digs, they will be getting updated from episode to episode. But enough about my background, although I do have a trivia question about my background later on tonight. Let's watch NXT. Sound good? All right. Yes, George, new setting. Part of our summer, early summer, is rearranging some of the rooms of the house. So I am now tucked away in a different place. Hey, Dro, good to see you. 2 title matches tonight. Tony D'Angelo defending against Cam Hendrix, Mr. Maxxine Dupree. We'll see if the rookie can make an impression. Also, we have a speed match. Lexis King defending against the winner of the tournament. Romeo Moreno. Where did Jordan come from? I don't know. Kalani Jordan, maybe. Anyways, here we are. Great American Bash, also June 28th. Shawn Michaels announced today. We got Zaria opening up the show, coming out probably angry about something. Tyrell, good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. Lockwood, good to see you as well. Dawsey, good to see you. Zaria and Izzy Rain, yes. Lizzy Rain, not Izzy Rain, sorry. Lizzy and Zaria kicking off the show. This should be a lot of fun because these 2 ladies hit pretty hard. So we'll see what happens. Zaria got some flames on her trench coat here. Looking a little Booker T-ish. That's the only way. There's really nothing else that evokes Booker T. But we'll see. Vic and Booker, of course, on the call tonight. Hope everybody's had a good week so far, although it is early in the week, so we'll go from there. Night of Champions, Great American Bash, Forbidden Door, and Slammiversary all on the same weekend. Yeah, so Night of Champions will be on Saturday. Great American Bash will be on Sunday. And so then you've got Forbidden Door and Slammiversary too. So that's a lot of wrestling for the channels who want to do everything. I think at most I'll be doing Great American Bash and Night of Champions. Okay, well, Lizzy Rain is now cutting opponent-specific promos before her entrance. So that's different. Now I've noticed she's got, heavy metal will never die as her phrase, her catchphrase, but it gets cut off every time she says it. But there we go. A and B in the house. What's up, guys? Welcome. Again, for everybody who's just coming in, I've moved locations within the house. So my old little neon light and my posters, they'll come up. I didn't have time to hang everything, but I have, reoriented the background just a little bit, and we will go from there. Just moved to another room in the house. I didn't move houses, certainly didn't move across the country. But yeah, that's all there is. So I needed a little bit of a different space, and we needed to redo a lot of our spaces in the house anyways, to accommodate, well, change. That's what happens. It's coming along, A&B. Yeah, for sure. We're coming along. A, if that's you, I don't know if that's, I never really know if it's you or B. It's usually you, A. I'm actually going to have a whole nother corner for movie specific conversations. So when you and I get back on that horse, I'm going to have a whole nother background for you. So we're getting ambitious, because why not? Why not? Last name, how did I feel about Raw last night? That's a good question. Nah, not a personal attack. I just wanted to calm everybody down because I didn't want anybody to think I was making any major life adjustments without telling them. That's all. Just I just moved from the to the East Coast side of the house. That's all. I'm still digesting Raw. Um I'm not a huge fan. Got it. Got it. Y'all are both here. Um I'm I feel like the bloodline stuff is just a little stale. And that's just me. I actually don't have anything against Roman or against the Usos or against Jacob. But I don't know, man. I just really, really want to see something different in that story and see it soon. Like I cannot. I don't know if I can stomach 2 to 3 more months of the same old stuff before they say, uh, "Oh, hey, you got me tripping, man." Um, I I'm nervous that they're going to miss the boat on keeping Jacob as a dangerous, unpredictable character by having him just stand in the background again, like Solo did in the first iteration, like he did when Solo was running his bit, you know. So obviously, you know, Jacob and Jay have a little bit of tension at least, or at least Jacob's got tension with Jay. I don't know if Jay's got it with Jacob or if he's paying enough attention. That might produce something, but I don't need a whole lot of slow burn with the bloodline anymore because this thing, you know, I said this with A and B yesterday that the bloodline story has been going on longer than the NWO. It's been going on longer than the entire era of Monday Nitro in WCW. It's lasted longer than the Confederacy. um, that's always actually a pretty fun punchline just to dunk on the Confederacy. But anyways, um, it's lasted a long time. So it's just a matter of like, can we please put some seasoning in there? That's all I'm asking for. Make it feel different this time. Tatum Paxley is here. Zaria not too happy to see the champion out here. She's going to be a little easily distracted. Also, too, like threatening to put Solo Sokoa and Tala Tonga in this story now, and then seeing Tala and Solo get absolutely murdered by Obafemi without a second breath on Monday doesn't do them any favors to see them as a threat to Roman or anybody in the bloodline for me. So there, you know, yeah, Sophie, you are Sophie Dophie is our community predictions champion. Attitude Era Lockwood. Yes, that's the other one I was trying to remember. It has lasted as long, actually, depending on when your timeline, your personal timeline, when the Attitude Era starts and stops. A lot of people, and I would agree with this. I'd say the Attitude Era stopped right around the time WCW died or WrestleMania X7, and then I would say it started probably around 97, a little before the Montreal Screwjob. Um, I don't think Austin 316 and 96 was really the start of it. Probably around the time Austin broke his neck, honestly, which would have been summer 97. So you're looking 97 to '01. The Attitude Era is really only 4 years when you're looking at that. And so Bloodline has been going on off and on, off and on for about 6 years at this point. And it's, you know, it's fine if you want to keep doing it, but again, just put some seasoning on it. You know, give us some flavor. Give us some flavor. I'm noticing that I'm having just a tad of buffering issues, which has me a little concerned about um hmm, how the new digs are going to work with streaming. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll be okay. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm having a little bit of a streaming issue with the NXT feed right now. So I'm gonna try to refresh a little bit, see if we can get things back to normal. While I'm doing that, if you look behind me, you'll notice a few of my Hasbro figures. And what we've got right here is the Macho Man Randy Savage, Ravishing Rick Rude, Bret the Hitman Hart, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I chose those four wrestlers on purpose to feature back there tonight. And so my night long trivia question for all of you is, what do those four wrestlers have in common? And if you pay attention throughout the night, you might be able to determine that answer. You're also going to need to know a little bit of wrestling history, which I will not give you hints on. But anyway, if you can tell me what those four wrestlers have in common, Savage, Steamboat, Rude, and Hart, let me know in the comments, and I'll reward you with props, if not a commentary, if not some sort of arbitrary prize, if I can come up with one. So anyway, we're back from break. Fight night this weekend, Dro. Okay. Good to know. I should say too that the thing that these four wrestlers have in common are not necessarily the all four of them. What they have in common doesn't mean they're the only four. They're just the only four I have figures of that this applies to. And there is something specific. So there might be other things they have in common, but there's a specific thing that they do have in common that I'm going to announce if it doesn't get guessed before the end of the show as to what it is. Lockwood, you may have a point about all of them being in the 1988 Rumble, but I will say this. I don't remember Savage being involved in the 88 Rumble. I'm not saying that that's incorrect. I'm just saying I can't remember, because Steamboat and Rude actually faced each other at the 88 Rumble. And I know Bret was the first ever number one, I think, in the Royal Rumble. Maybe he was number two, but he was in the Rumble match itself. I can't remember if Savage was a part of the 88 Rumble or not. They were not all a part of the first Mania, because Rude's first Mania was WrestleMania 5. No, 4, excuse me. Rude's was Sophie, I'll address your guesses as they come along. They were not a part of the first Mania though. Rick Rude's first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 4. But and Savage's first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 2. But Steamboat and Bret was also WrestleMania 2. Steamboat was the only first one in WrestleMania 1, if I'm remembering correctly. So anyway, keep guessing. No one's guessed it right so far. What do Bret, Rude, Steamboat, and Savage have in common? There is a clue on the set. I'm telling you right now. There's a visual clue that is within that is within your field of vision. Oh, happy birthday, Christopher. Oh, Diamond Cutter by Lizzy Rain. Only 2 though. Tell you what, Lizzy is wrestling with urgency. You love to see it. Geez. I'm not sure what she was going for, but she got countered to a German suplex and then a spear. And that's it. Zaria gets the clean win over Lizzy Rain. Not mad at that. This was a good match. You know what? Something I like about NXT that I am going to criticize a little bit about the main roster. I really enjoy that NXT is not afraid to have one-on-one matches with two valid competitors and let there be a clean winner. Because I'm not enjoying the fatal four-way aspect of the King of the Ring. I don't like them kind of leaning on no DQ so they can have as much interference as they want. I really just wish they would do, I don't know, they would just do one-on-one matches. Oba could have just killed Solo Sikoa Monday night. But you know, it's all good. Although that spot, Oba's not actually a great example. Oh, she's about to throw another F5 on Lizzy, but Tatum comes in. Okay, Zaria and Tatum next week for the North American title. Tatum comes in to cry mercy for Lizzy. Myles and Tavion here talking to Legacy and Van Dukes. All of them had intercontinental title matches at Mania. Lockwood, that is true, but that's not what I'm going for. But you're on the right track. The culling sneaking in the background. And now there's Izzy. Dawsey, Rick Rude is the fourth. Izzy is so clearly trying to take over the culling here. I mean, I say try to take over. She's starting to call the shots. And Spears, I'm not sure Spears knows what to do with all that. Sophie Dopey, they are all in the Hall of Fame, but that's not what I'm that's not what I'm putting in common. The reason why I'm saying, you know, that's not what it is, one is because that's not what the question is. But two, I have a lot of figures that are in the Hall of Fame. So and it's also like why it's not intercontinental title matches at Mania and all this stuff. Oh, Saquon is here causing trouble for DarkState. He jumps DarkState in their entrance and trying to escape in the escaping through the crowd. He either had a pipe or a really short kendo stick. Okay. So again, I have a weekly trivia question. Bret the Hitman Hart, Ravishing Rick Rude, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Macho Man Randy Savage. All four of them have something very specific in common. Intercontinental title matches was brought up by Lockwood. I will say that is a clue. That's the closest thing to a clue that I'll give so far. And that and the answer, I say the answer, but a big clue is visible on my set. So we're on commercial break. More about Raw. Yeah, so King of the Ring could be very interesting. I saw a video too that it looks like Braun Breaker might be hurt, or at least there was video of him limping backstage after the show. I really hope that man is okay. Man, the Vision. Imagine the Vision when they started. If there is a question, there's a meme to be made of how it started and how it's going. Look at the Vision, man. Goodness gracious alive. They are down to Austin Theory at this point, which, no disrespect to Austin Theory, but when you started with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, even adding Logan Paul, Paul Heyman, and now you're down to Austin Theory. Ugh. That's some cold, cold weather, my friend. So, anyway, defeated Flair for a title. Lockwood, that's solid. That is a solid guess. That's not actually what it is, but Lockwood, you're getting very, very close. Because now that I think about it, I think that might be true. I'm sitting here trying to think if Rude defeated Flair for a title or not. But Steamboat and Savage and Brett all did, for sure. Non-Cena better wrap himself in bubble wrap, right? I know. Will they need to vacate the titles? Because honestly, if we're going for some like bloodline domination thing, I would rather see the Usos go back after the tag titles than see Jay try to go solo again. I think we have had our Jay Uso experiment in singles competition. We had our fun, and yeah, we had our fun. But I think we know what we got with Jay as a solo act now. And maybe we just decide to just be friends, us and Jay Uso, the singles star. I don't think we're ready to commit to Jay, to main event Jay Uso. Main event in the tag division all day long, all night long. They're the ones, but no. No, Sophie, these are not all face Hulk Hogan. Brett, Savage really the only one. I mean, because Rude never really did one-on-one. Steamboat for sure didn't one-on-one. And Brett never really did one-on-one either. Came close in their WCW days, but too much NWO nonsense. So they did not all face Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I got to wonder last name how Heyman is feeling after that spear too. Obviously, there's no reports that he is hurt or anything like that, but kayfabe wise, he should probably be off TV for just a minute at least. So yeah, man, Vision, hard times. Talking about where's Dusty? Right here. Hard times, baby. My goodness gracious, hard times. There's hard times on Paul Heyman. Hard times on the Vision, baby. Do you think they'll put Jacob and Jimmy in the tag division? You know what? Last name, I didn't think about that. I just kind of assumed Jacob would become a mid-carder and go after Penta or somebody, or just be the wild man. But they, I don't know. I don't know what they'll do with Jacob. All right, Lockwood, you were halfway there. He said they were all Intercontinental Champion and they all beat Ric Flair. They were all Intercontinental Champion. That's half of it. That is 50% of the answer. So Lockwood, I feel like you're going to get this before the next commercial break. But there we go. Great American Bash, Sunday afternoon or evening, depending on where you live, on the CW. So I'm wondering if I'll be able to VPN that on Netflix. But yeah, Lockwood, you're super close. All right. Vic Joseph. All right. They are no, Sophie, they didn't appear on the first Raw. Good guess though. We're calling an audible new tag match because DarkState can't compete. So we got OTM coming out. Will OTM be taking on Borne and Tavion? Or will they be taking someone else? The calling. Let's see. See what happens here. Oh, goodness. Sorry, everybody. My stream, I'm having some real buffering problems tonight. Oh yeah. So this comes from last week, with OTM and the culling having the reason why Izzy couldn't get any extra help. And yeah, so which led to Lola defending successfully. No, Lockwood, they did not defend. I'll defend the Intercontinental title against Ultimate Warrior. Okay, Sophie, you are also half right. They all did hold big gold at some point. Savage, Steamboat, Rude, and Bret Hart all held big gold at one point. So whoever can put those two halves together gets the answer. Although the answer is pretty much right there if you've been paying attention. All right, the bell hasn't rung yet, but we still have some shenanigans happening. They're ready to fight. All right, now the bell rings. The match has started. Right. Okay, so I think I can call it at this point. I'm gonna give Loki Doki. Guys, give me some grace here. I'm speaking out of my head. We're gonna have Lockwood and Sophie Dofi. I'm gonna give you guys a both credit. So as our tag match gets underway with OTM and the culling here, which OTM really ought to take this. I mean, you think, right? So yes, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Ravishing Rick Rude. All four of these men in their career both held big gold and the Intercontinental title at some time in their career. They're the only wrestlers that I have figures of that accolade applies to. Of course, Savage held the Intercontinental title in the mid 80s, lost it to Steamboat, and won the WCW title when it was big gold in 95. And then Ricky Steamboat, of course, wins the Intercontinental title WrestleMania 3, and then leaves WWF in 88, and then beats Ric Flair in 89 for big gold. Bret Hart, of course, Ravishing Rick Rude wins the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 5 from the Ultimate Warrior, goes over to WCW, and when big gold was the WCW International title, back when like Vader and Ron Simmons were WCW champion, he held big gold. And then also Bret Hart, Intercontinental champion in the early 90s, beat Mr. Perfect for it, heads over to WCW and wins the WCW title in the late 90s and 2000 before he retires or is forced to retire. And he's WCW champion, holds a big gold there. So those four men, there may be others. Feel free to let me know. I know the Big Show, aka the Giant, was a holder of both belts, but I don't have a Big Show figure. Also, hiding behind me right here, Chris Jericho, another holder of both titles. If you count the WCW title when it came to WWE. But that's getting kind of in the weeds. So looking at some of my other figures, I think they're the only ones who I have that they apply to. Some close ones, Roddy Piper, of course, but never held the WCW, never held big gold. British Bulldog never held big gold. Hulk Hogan never won the IC title. Ultimate Warrior never held big gold. Yeah. So there you go. Another close one would have been the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, who was NWA champion, but that wasn't the NWA title yet. That was pre Big Gold. He was pretty close. as well. And Scott Steiner, also someone I almost considered, but he was never Intercontinental Champion either, although he did hold Big Gold briefly right before WCW closed up shop. So there are some really unnecessarily long descriptions of how things ran in belt history. Also, and I will say this, I didn't count Big Gold when it was a WWE owned title, because now that I mentioned that, Chris Jericho was one. Also, Shawn Michaels, that would have counted as well, but no, sir. Also, someone else who was close but never Intercontinental Champion, Dusty Rhodes, a holder of Big Gold, but never a holder of the IC title. So there you go. Who do I got this Saturday? Co-main event: Edmund Shabazian or Brendan Allen. Who's the favorite, Drew? I didn't know that, Sophie. Well, you know what? There are ads. That is true, Sophie Dophie. I just didn't have a Booker T figure. Got a Funko of King Booker over there, but I was trying to just keep it to those. And also, Booker never held that Intercontinental title. So everybody who's up there held the Intercontinental title when it looked like that, and Big Gold when it looked like that. Because that's the one thing. Jericho actually never held that IC title, so I take that back. Shawn did. HBK did. So maybe HBK would still count. But he didn't. It wasn't a WCW title when he held it. It was the world title. George asks, who wins the first round of Queen of the Ring tournament, Liv Morgan or Becky Lynch? Give me Becky Lynch. I don't see a need for Liv Morgan to advance in that tournament, her already being a world champion. I don't think it was a good call to even put her in the tournament in the first place. But that's just my opinion. To account the Rock's IC title, actually when The Rock first won the Intercontinental title, it was that version. But when he held Big Gold, it was WWE owned. I also don't have a Rock figure. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know why Liv is in the tournament either, Sophie. I thought she did a good job of trying to rationalize it. She did the best with what they gave her to work with, but I don't think that was a good call to put her in the tournament, especially if she's not going to win that match. Well, I mean, what title reign, George? Like, has she defended it even? I mean, she had that one match against Sol Ruka when Sol debuted, but what else has she done? And I'm not criticizing her. I just because has she even been available? Is she fully 100%? Or is she injured? Because honestly, other than the WrestleMania match itself, I know she had the match against Sol. I just said that, but feels like she hasn't been the same since she took that headbutt from Stephanie Vaquer. It just feels like something has not been right. Lockwood asks what my most treasured collectible is. That's a good question, Lockwood. I'm actually looking around. So some of my collectibles I have like rebought, so they aren't the same version of what I had as a kid or something. But for what it's worth, some of the ones that hold a great sentimental value to me, I would go with Big Gold. Big Gold is probably the collectible I've had the longest. I've had it for probably almost 20 years. So I've had it for a long time. Although the IC title is maybe is my favorite belt design of all time. But I only just recently got that. And then over my other shoulder here, this lunchbox is also a collectible I really love and enjoy because it's not a replica. I mean, I found it on eBay, but I had that same lunchbox as a little kid. So I really enjoy that. And then honestly, I really do like all the Hasbro figures. There's also, let me see if I can tilt the chair a little bit. That foam belt, title belt. Again, these are all nostalgic childhood things, but basically, yeah, it was those kinds of things. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Big Gold, because I've had it longer than anything else, um, and so I have most memories attached to it, and it's got my name on the nameplate, so that's nice. To be fair, ChatGPT probably worked hard to make that bracket. Tossy, you're a lion, man. ChatGPT does a lot of hard work, man. How hard or easy to move all your stuff from one room to another? Well, when you have help, it wasn't so hard. My wife and my son both helped me move everything over. So I spent most of the day just kind of rearranging stuff and getting stuff set back up. OTM makes pretty easy work of the culling. Not a lot of commentary from me on that match. But to be fair, the culling doesn't really draw a lot of attention to me. But I'm glad OTM won. That was the right call. And let's get OTM chasing the vanity project, shall we? Yeah, the old room was kind of more of a living room space anyway, Sophie. So we're just repurposing that back into what it was always intended to be, just like a living room space for everybody. Sean Spears takes the pin. What's up, Shamanica? Good to see you. Thanks for coming along tonight. Glad you're here. Oh, Shamanica. So I moved to a different room in the house. That's the new background. So we're still in process. I'm still putting up things on the wall. So next week you'll see more. Prosper and Tate Wilder talking. Tate Wilder taking on Jackson Drake tonight. And Tate Wilder not thinking. You get a little too aggressive. Too many risks. Oh, there's Hendrix. You know, he can't just saying what he thinks, man. Oh, right. I tell you what, Cam Hendrix does a really good. Um, he's really good at being cocky. I'll give him that. What's up, Mod Father? Good to see you. Hope everyone's having a blessed Tuesday. Not watching NXT, have you on in the background. Get your watch hours up. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you, Mod Father. I'll try to clue you in if anything worth checking out afterward happens tonight. Thanks for popping in with me, Mod Father. All right, here comes Jackson Drake, Vanity Project, Michael Lockwood in tow as well. I got to say this. I feel like every year with NXT, there is an act that I hated at first that starts growing on me. And this year, 2026, may be the year of the Vanity Project for me. I felt the same way about JC Jane last year and Fatal Influence. And now I'm starting to become team Vanity Project. Tate Wilder seems bland as all get out. He Mike and name steal. Tate Wilder looks like if Tony Hawk had a baby with a character from Yellowstone. I don't know. It's just, yeah. If Jeff Hardy was a Yellowstone character, I don't get this sort of. It feels like a Texan cowboy kind of theme music. but he carries himself like a Hardy. A Bon Jovi-ish theme song, a little Blaze of Glory for any of you guys old enough to remember Blaze of Glory, Young Guns too. Yeah, I don't know, man. Tate Wilder, I feel like he's walking into too many lanes. Yeah, Shamanica, there was some pretty deadly vibes from Vanity Project, but they're stepping into their own. Honestly, I thought it was a really fun booking decision to have them sort of get catfit, not even catfished, but have them inadvertently get set up on a date with Micah Lockwood. And instead of them running away from her, embracing her instead. And I wouldn't say that's a full on babyface turn or anything like that, but them like leaning into that has been a lot of fun because they're all a bunch of chads, you know, and not in a good way. And the fact that they are going against the grain and actually like enjoying her company actually is really fun to me. And not just because they're afraid of her either. They're like, she is awesome. Like they're saying that to each other. And I'm like, I love that. Anyway, and also Jackson Drake, ton of upside. Like I think if he stays healthy and maybe decides to buy knee pads one day, I think he could be really, he could go really far. He kind of reminds me of Ethan Page, but a little more athletic. Speaking of athletic, Tate Wilder, senton off the steps. The Vanity Project guys do look like they just graduated high school, and that's kind of part of the appeal of the gimmick. Like they look like little punks you probably could beat up, and they keep getting away with it. Yes, A and B. I don't know why Liv Morgan is in the Queen of the Ring tournament to begin with. She doesn't need to be there. She does not need to be there. You have enough women on the roster. You could put someone else in her slot. You could use Queen of the Ring to have somebody gun for her. Because right now, it's a given that whoever's going to win this tournament, especially if it's Liv, is going to be gunning for Rhea. So, like, I don't know. When you put one of your champions in the tournament without the sort of Brock Lesnar 2020 Royal Rumble, I'm announcing ahead of time what my intentions are choice, you end up just sort of inadvertently broadcasting to your fans, we don't have a deep enough roster. And also, that problem could have been solved by just not having multi-person matches, by having one-on-one matches and just having some people don't make it to the tournament. That's all we got to do. Yes, if they were actually in high school, Lockwood. Exactly. They would have bullied Michael Lockwood. And I think it's a great subversion of TV expectations to have them be pro Micah. I think that's that kind of choice, that almost wholesome choice won't always work, but it works here. And I'm a fan of it. Anyway, Jackson Drake, still in control while we're on break. But yeah, so man, we're gonna get Night of Champions in a few weeks in Saudi. Are they coming back? Are they staying in Europe between now and Saudi, or are they coming back and then going to Saudi again? I'm curious about that because that's going to wreak havoc on programming. But we'll have to see what Night of Champions holds for us. King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring finals for sure. And we'll see what else there is. Will Judgment Day help Liv Morgan after the way Judgment Day segment is ending? Yeah, they are teasing quite a bit of dissension there, right? Like, or some growing animosity. Not a full-on explosion or anything yet. Do you think Roxy snaps on Liv Morgan eventually? Because I do feel like the Judgment Day is on the verge of some implosion in multiple ways, right? Finn Balor's already gone and over to SmackDown now. Then you have Dom, who's the mega champion. And I guarantee you that El Grande Americano is going to be aiming for Dom and the mega title sometime soon. I don't see why they wouldn't. And then if Roxy turns on Liv or vice versa, who does Raquel go with? Or does she go with either of them? And that just kind of leaves JD hanging out in the wind, floating along with his giant head, crying himself to sleep at night on his huge pillow. Deep cut joke for one or two of you there. All right, we're about to come back from break. Jackson Drake still in control here. The two Utes in the ring. Fighting on the apron. Enziguri from Tate Wilder. Now what? Ooh, Pele kick on the apron from Jackson Drake. Wow, jeez. Jackson Drake, a suicide dive spear on Tate Wilder, who was standing on the apron. But Jackson Drake tumbles to the floor and Tate Wilder just kind of bumps on the apron. Wilder should have bumped to the floor and went for a TKO type finish. TKO the move, not the soulless company. Only gets two, though. Split screen shot of Birthright in the background or the foreground. All right, so Tate Wilder is 0-2 in NXT right now because he keeps going high risk even when he doesn't need to. Jackson Drake got him up top. Oh, sunset flip powerbomb coming? No. Big powerbomb from Tate Wilder. Wilder going up top. Commentary continuing that narrative that a rotating frog splash only two. I have a feeling Wilder's not going to get this match either. Call me crazy, but Wilder has the look that could have him as a part of the Vanity Project, but Tate Wilder distracted by the Vanity Project. Now Tate going. Oh, whoa. Lockwood, she catches him mid Hurricane Rana and just powerbombed him against the post. Great strength by Lockwood. China would be proud. 450 from Jackson Drake. That ought to do it. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Vanity Project. Well, Jackson Drake wins. Shout out to Michael Lockwood, man. That is no small task of athleticism because Tate Wilder is not a small man. He's a Jeff Hardy sized man, which he does cruiserweighty things, but he's not as big. I mean, he's bigger than a cruiserweight. So for him to try to go Hurricane Rana on a woman the size of Michael Lockwood, for her to hold him up and deadlift him into a power bomb is super impressive. I'm not even sure China could have done that. I think maybe early China, but I'm just trying to give you historical markers. Okay. Post cosmetic surgery China probably couldn't have done that, but early debut China, maybe. But even I think China was shorter than Michael Lockwood. So I think she has the frame for it, man. I'm just really impressed with Michael Lockwood's strength right there. in that, because that was mostly, if not all, on her to make sure that stayed safe. And she delivered. Is Tate Wilder a babyface or a heel? Last name, that's actually a good question. I think he's supposed to be a babyface, but he wrestles. You know what? It's interesting. We come to this. I was going to say he reminds me of the Flying Brian era, Brian Pillman, where he wrestles like except Brian Pillman was actually smaller than the guys he wrestled. He wrestles like a chihuahua. I mean, like he's got a lot to prove. He's got a little bit of that Napoleon complex. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what we're dealing with Tate Wilder, because he's always trying to do too much, and that always ends up biting him in the end. So, that seems to be what it is. But man. Well, and good core strength too from Tate Wilder too to do his part in that spot. But shout out to Michael Lockwood, man, because I think many performers would have crumbled under that pressure of that spot. All right. Sorry, I had a buffering issue. Now we're skipped ahead to the recap of Lola Vice retaining the title against Izzy Dame from last week. And now, great, a Club WWE ad, just in time to see that. I will say this. One thing I wouldn't mind about Club WWE is access to retro shirts. If they reissued old school merch, I still don't think I'd pay for Club WWE, but that's something I would go for is access to older merch. Because I just saw in the ad, like they had like WrestleMania 9 t-shirts, although WrestleMania 9 was like one of the worst WrestleManias, so I wouldn't really want that. But old school Royal Rumble shirts or old retro WrestleMania shirts. Honestly, what I would love is the Kevin Owens WrestleMania shirts. If they sold them through there, the KO Mania shirts where he would like tape his face over, like KO Mania 6, he taped his face over the Ultimate Warrior. And whoever he was fighting that year taped their face over the Hulk Hogan body. Like, I really enjoyed the KO Mania shirts that he would have made every year. Would love to see those. Do I like the DarkState and Sugars feud? Last name, I'm glad that they went with Sugars as the solo act in that feud. I was really starting to think that they were going to make Lennox the solo act, taking on the three of them, but I'm really glad they pulled the trigger with Sugars instead. So I think it's a best case scenario. That's for a DarkState feud. That's all I think. So, yeah, that's what I think. Anyways, yeah. So everybody doing okay tonight? Tell me this: who would you like to see in the finals for King of the Ring? You can book it as much as you want to, but just tell me, who would you like to see as your final two in King of the Ring? I think for me, give me Obafemi versus Seth Rollins. And I'll go ahead and I won't book the whole thing, but I'll go ahead and tell you, I would want Oba to wreck Seth too. I just want Oba wrecking shop, because you got to understand, we are setting forth a precedent of what it takes to defeat Obafemi. And the only thing that we have been given to defeat Obafemi is you have to attack him from behind and you have to hit him with all your finishers. and not just all your finishers, but you have to be like Brock Lesnar level of finisher to beat him. So your little stomp and your little falcon arrow and your little pedigree, that ain't gonna cut it, Seth. Ain't gonna cut it at all. Yeah, so give me Oba. And yeah. I mean, I said it before WrestleMania. Have him take that belt from Roman at SummerSlam. You can still keep telling the bloodline story. You could have Oba as world champion, and then you could go back to Roman saying, I want the belt that belongs to me. Go back after Cody then if you want. Or Gunther if Gunther's got the belt by then. Either way. Or if you really want to make fans crash out, myself included, give Roman the Money in the Bank briefcase. That would be, I feel like that would be horrific. All right. Here comes the champ. Vice City, ladies and gentlemen. And I ain't talking about Tommy Vercetti. She's still got that AAA mixed tag title, too. Well, Lockwood, I would have had happier feelings about LA Knight winning the briefcase months ago, but the way they're treating him now, I don't know. He'll be in the ladder match probably, and he'll probably be the bridesmaid yet again. And the internet will crash out when he doesn't win again, and not care 2 days later again. Dom and Finn, King of the Ring final. Okay, last name. So you got one of them challenging for a title at SummerSlam? All right, who's next for Lola Vice? Wayne Allen, welcome to the chat. All I see from Thea Hale is social media these days, man. She's just kind of fallen off. She's still there. Who we got? Is that Kalani? Not a huge surprise. Kalani Jordan showing up after dealing with Ren and Kendall. Crowd hates it, but honestly, Kalani's been booked to deserve it. Yeah, Wayne. I mean, like there's room for Thea Hale. I don't know why she can't be in the mix with Tatum and Lizzy and Zaria, but just not being on the show at all is odd for NXT. What would you say is missing, Kalani, from Kalani Lockwood? Let's not say she's at the Rhea Ripley level or anything like that. But what's the thing that doesn't click with you for her? I'm just curious. Oh man, I am my stream is on the struggle bus tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, Kalani is making an interesting point. Everybody loved Lola Vice's work in AAA, but when Kalani does it in TNA, she got hated on. DarkState is trying to take over the channel. Okay, you think she needs some character development? Okay. I will say, when I hear a Kalani Jordan promo versus, say, a Jada Parker promo, it's a whole nother thing. Oh, here comes Kendall. Here comes Kendall. I think with Kalani, you can tell what you can tell when she's giving a script and when she's improvising. She doesn't sound the same. Ren's still on that crutch, man. The way Ren's still selling that knee, man, can we do this at Great American Bash and let these ladies main event? Modfather, it looks like we're building towards Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray, and Lola Vice for the women's title. Hasn't been announced, but we're definitely heading there. Lola, you're not the GM, girl. What's up, Nico? Oh, snap. Wow. Wow. So Kalani snatched the belt off of Lola. So Lola spun around for the back fist and whew, she gave Kendall a 2-piece and a biscuit that hit harder than a Popeye's biscuit, man. Those hockey pucks they served there. That she swung for the fences. She I'm still catching my breath. She could have broke Kendall's nose. I'm no lie. She hit her flush in the face. Jeez. Lola. Man. Okay. So yeah, Lola needs to check in with Robert Stone. She doesn't have a bad idea, but she's not the GM. And yes, we are having a Mr. NXT pageant next week, I think, between Tristan Angels, the Heart Brit kid, and Shiloh Hill. So do we know what the Great American Bash card? So nothing's been announced for Great American Bash last name. The only thing we've gotten close to is just now Lola Vice saying she'll face the winner of Kendall and Kalani at Great American Bash. Shiloh and Tatum's friendship is something I hope they keep going for a long time. Oh, Zaria just jumps Tatum right after Shiloh leaves. Oh my gosh. Just F5'd her into the cabinet. Shiloh comes back. Also, smart booking there. Shiloh actually comes back because he's not that far away once it happens, but Zaria attacks quickly enough to get away with it. Man, oh man. By the way, Celeste, I think I said hi. You showed up right around the time Kendall was getting popped in the mouth. So, nevertheless, man. What's my thoughts on Clash in Italy and AAA? Okay. Listen, I don't think I've got enough thoughts on the entire AAA show, but I will tell you this. The Mass versus Mass match was the best match of the year in 2026 so far, for sure. So yeah, I'm fully on board with that match. I watched it. It was beautiful. It was old school wrestling. It was just, yeah, it was great on every level, and the crowd made it amazing. So good. So Clash in Italy. I'll actually read a tweet that I wrote after the show on Saturday, and I reserve the right to have evolved my opinion from there, but we'll see what happens. All right, thoughts on Clash in Italy. Cody and Gunther, I said, was good. It felt shorter than what I thought it was going to be, but I did like the finish of Gunther kind of getting screwed, because when it's time for Gunther to take the title, he deserves a better build than what he got. Jade Cargill. Listen, Jade and Rhea. I thought even though Jade lost that match, she is low-key the MVP of Clash in Italy. I think she absolutely proved that she's a better wrestler than the hate that she gets. She was going band for band with Rhea in that match. Their reversals of each other was really good. She's improved a ton. I'm not sitting here saying, she's Ricky Steamboat or anything like that, but that's also not who you need Jade Cargill to be. You need her to be the muscle woman, the powerhouse, but she proved she could hang with Rhea. I said she proved she belonged in the ring with Rhea and company tonight. Great performance from a muscle woman style wrestler. Best match of her career in WWE easily. I'm assuming best match of her career total, but I never watched her AEW stuff, but I assume she was super green, so it was probably better than that too. I hope she continues this trend of match quality with Charlotte. Oba and Brock. All right, listen, Oba and Brock always deliver. I didn't love the finish personally. Oba still looks like a monster. Obviously, we want Brock Oba 3. We all want Brock Oba 3. But I have a hard time as a fan in kayfabe, in story, understanding why Brock would want match number 3. It's easy to see why Oba wants match 3. It's easy to see why the fans want match 3. But if I'm Brock, I just want it to make sense. I just want it to make sense. And not doing it because we all assume it's going to happen, give the same amount of effort they've been building this entire feud the entire time, and just keep that energy for why Brock would actually be convinced to have a third match with Oba, because he got the brakes beaten off of him the first time, and the second time he had to consistently resort to cheap shotting Oba, and he just escaped with his life. It took him more F5s than he's ever given to survive Oba. So if I'm Brock in that situation, I got my win and I don't want that smoke anymore. So obviously we want that third match, and they're probably going to do that, right? Probably at SummerSlam. So you just make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. Make it make sense. My initial thought was put Brock in King of the Ring as well, and then have them face off in the finals. That way Brock doesn't get to choose whether or not he has to face Oba again. He has to if he wants the title shot. I feel like that would be good, not giving Brock the choice, but Brock's not in the tournament, so they can't do that, but we'll see. I'm going to keep going through my thoughts while Mason and Tony are talking backstage. I said Sol and Becky was the best of what Sol has done so far, although that's a low bar. I thought Becky is doing great in her career right now. And I hope Becky is on to bigger things because her character work is amazing right now. And I hope that Sol actually gets to work with other mid-carders now that she's a mid-card champion. I'll save my thoughts about Roman and Jacob in just a second. Oh, Naraku and Mason Rook next week. That could steal the show. By the way, Naraku is doing an interesting thing right now where he is the unasked for guardian angel of Tony D'Angelo. He showed up last week and said, I'm going to be the one who takes the belt off you, so I'm going to make sure nobody else touches you until it's my turn. So people have tried to jump Tony from behind, and Naraku shows up to help him. Interesting dynamics at play as we're about to get our speed title match. Now, Roman and Jacob. A, make sure B doesn't throw anything at me. Roman and Jacob wasn't it for me. Sorry, everybody. Aside from the Bronson Reed feud, Roman has not really interested me ever since he won the Ulafala back from Solo at the Netflix debut. Jacob doesn't feel scary or unpredictable to me anymore. And this feud has taken the teeth out of him for now. Again, just speaking for myself, I don't need any more bloodline drama. And also, this doesn't have anything to do with Roman or Jacob. It's WWE. I'm so tired of gimmicked no DQ matches that are just a no DQ match. Like if it's a no DQ match, just call it a no DQ match. You don't need to call it tribal combat. Like there's no waterfall. The Jabari tribe isn't showing up. Like please stop with the gimmickry for that. Also, like Tribal Chief Roman, his style of wrestling is very slow and methodical, a lot of trash talk, right? That doesn't work as well when he's alone for me. Like when he had Heyman in his corner or Jimmy and Jay were there, or even if Solo is there, he had somebody to jaw with when he was talking trash to whoever he was wrestling, right? But when he's by himself and he's just jawing at whoever he's fighting, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't hit the same way for me, and I get bored pretty fast. So anyway, we'll see what happens. We saw Jacob acknowledge Roman on Monday, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm trying not to put any unrealistic expectations on that storyline, and I just hope they, kind of like the Brock thing, I just hope they do right by it. Like, don't keep us in neutral, man. I cannot handle another 1,300 days of same old stuff. Like, throw some Old Bay in there, or some Zatarans, or throw some seasoning in this feud. Give us something a little different. Remix it just a little bit if we can, so it's still entertaining. So anyway, those were my thoughts on Clash in Italy. For those who asked or were curious, or don't follow me on Twitter and just want to see me repeat myself. So there you go. Anyway, and we're doing another refresh. The sad thing about the Netflix thing is every time I hit refresh, there's just like a wallpaper background, and it's of Kalani Jordan, and anyway. Having that on my computer screen, I'm like, okay, come on, can we just go ahead? All right, here we go. 5-minute time limit. Romeo Moreno, Lexis King. Let's start the clock. Yes, get Stacks out of Birthright. Big chops from Romeo. Romeo has Noam Dar, by the way. Oh, thanks, Nico. I appreciate it. Do I think Danhausen will curse the Knicks again? I think the Knicks could curse themselves. I mean, they're facing Wemby and the Spurs, so they probably don't need any curse help. They're going to have a hard enough battle as it is. I would rather him curse the Vegas Knights because your boy is a big Carolina Hurricanes fan. So we need that Stanley Cup back in Raleigh, Holmes. Actually, now that I say that, let me check the score. Let's see. Lexis King in control, double stomp. All right. Carolina's up 2-1 at the end of the first. We love it. We love to see it. It would be hilarious if Danhausen cursed someone in the crowd. For real, man. Like, they are doing, you know what? For as much as we complain about the TKOification of WWE, and there's a lot to complain about if you're looking for it, right? They are firing on all cylinders with Danhausen. So I appreciate that. Danhausen is absolutely the type of character that WWE would need to have their hands on. He knows exactly what what is needed, to to be. They know exactly what's needed to make a gimmick like his successful. Is what I mean. Oh gosh. And oh man, your boy's gonna need to do some work trying to I've changed locations. So we're definitely gonna need to work on that for sure. All right, I'm trying to get back up to live speed here. Okay, man. Rough night for the internet connection, everybody. Sorry. Which is bananas because I've been doing things online in this room all day and not having any problems until of course the show starts because that's how this typically works. But anyway, we're about 2 minutes left. I might be a second or three behind. So we got 2 minutes left, and Moreno in control. Is Birthright going to do anything to interfere? We'll see. I don't think I've ever seen a DQ or a count out in a speed match. Rings of Saturn by Moreno. Oh, reverse the pin. Nope. Lexis King, Balin. Last name, I can see Romeo's talent, right? But I'm not connecting with him as a performer though. He just seems like a body to me right now. Kind of bland. I mean, listen, his athleticism is clear, which seems to be the case with a lot of performers in NXT. They can go in the ring or they're good athletes, but yeah, I don't know. How do you feel last name? Honestly, I was more impressed with Noam Dar coming back and still tearing it up. We're in the last minute now. Lexis King reversed a springboard into a single leg crab, which is pretty dope. All right, Moreno back on his feet. Big kick. We're 45 seconds. Ooh, like a top rope lion salt. King. Oh, knee to the back. Coronation. That ought to do it. 30 seconds. Lexis retains. Honestly, I think that's the right call. I like I think Birthright, it is just the speed title, but Birthright should still maintain some level of success. Also, Dempsey's not there. What's he do? Where's Dempsey? We need to get Stacks out of there and bring Dempsey in full time. Oh, Natty and Jada. Everybody shh. Hank and Take are watching. to the dungeon. Bring her to the dungeon. She's calling Jada soft. Hank and Tank. Uh-oh. Miss Parker looks shook. And she just let Nikita and I don't know, blonde girl number 2. I didn't recognize who that was. Was it Carmen? I don't know. Just gossip about her behind her back. She seems to be Jada seems to be gotten to a little bit from that promo from Natty. Man, I'm telling you, could this lead to Natty bringing Jada to the dungeon and kind of doing the Maxxine thing with her? Could you imagine a sort of you know, a sort of Maxxine Dupree-ish, remix, but with her confidence. Ooh, Jada A and B in the comments. Jada looked like she's about to cry, like she got dressing down from her mama. I know she looked like she played too much in the department store and had the nerve to ask for McDonald's on the way home. And Natty put her in her place, saying, "I know you scared. You think you big. You think you big and gangster now. I see right through you." Whew. And the fact that Jada didn't do nothing about it. Yeah, that I honestly really like that. If I'm telling you the truth, I like that quite a bit, because that tells me, one, the story's not done. Two, the fact that Natty chose the word soft, that carries with it potential that she can get tougher. And if Natty is the person that you're in a feud with, and the accusation is you're not tough enough, well, then maybe the goal isn't winning a match, it's making you tougher. And so, yeah, I absolutely think what I was begging for the first time we saw them cross paths might be ultimately where we go, where Natty brings Miss Parker into the dungeon and transforms her into something else. Not something else. She can still be Miss Parker, but when the bell rings, Miss Parker turns into Jada, like how Natalya turns into Natty. So if we can get a Natty version of Miss Parker, all the belts. All the belts. Did I tell you your boy couldn't have no dang ice cream? Exactly. Natty told Jada, take your sweet upstairs and get some rest. Jada did not have the guts to look at her like she was short, though. Not this time. Not this week. Whew. She a shepherd for the devil. She come from the devil. That's what she is. Anyway, sorry. Got me in my Bernie Mac spot. A's always good for that. Whew. Tell you, man, that was a marked moment. I've got 3 marked moments tonight, and they're all from the ladies. Michael Lockwood power bombing Tate Wilder. Lola Vice knocking Kendall Gray's head off, and Natty and Jada having a stare down. Yeah. All 3. What will be our 4th marked moment tonight? Ren QCC. What's up, RT Rick? Last name, I'd be down for that. No, Ren, come on. Ren QCC, come on. Ren is taking herself out of Kendall's corner so she's not a liability for Kendall's match with Kalani, which honestly storyline makes sense, but I just love Ren and Kendall so much. I don't want I want them to be happy. I bring real dad energy to the Ren QCC. I'm like, you girls, please be safe. Anyway. All right, so we're getting the tag match that got delayed earlier in the night. Myles and Tavion versus DarkState, Osiris and Cutler. You know what? Last name Carver changed his gear. He's simplified now, which brings a little more unity. He's not wearing the singlet anymore. So Carver was always kind of big, but I think that singlet made him look a little skinnier. But yeah. Or wait, is that Lennox in there? I said all that. But I'm pretty sure Cutler was wearing different stuff. The North American strap is big, Shamanica. You're right. It is sizable because it looked normal like on Keith Lee and a few other big boys. And Obafemi. All right, Lennox and Borne starting things off. I guess Cutler was the one who got attacked then? Or is he on the outside of the ring? All right, Myles pretty much in control here on Lennox. Deep headlock takeover. Do I think Tavion turns on Myles and joins DarkState? That would be interesting. I think Tavion could fit with DarkState. However, a little miscommunication with Tavion and Myles, though. I don't know how I would do it right now, though, because they've got their hands full with sugars, and I don't know if you want to bring Myles into all that. I'm not sure. Tavion, I feel like though I feel like he could do so much more than what they use him for, though. So he's an interesting case to me. Did Carver get? Oh, you know what? Last name. You asked, did Keanu Carver get bigger? And I spent all that time talking about Cutler James because I thought that said Cutler. My bad, dude. I think Carver might have gotten a little bigger. He seems to be hitting the gym for sure. Dude is jacked. I'm so sorry. I'm sitting there the whole time rambling on about the least interesting member of DarkState. You were talking about Keanu Carver. Oh my. Tumbling over the top here. Lennox getting aggressive out there. Yeah, last name. I could see them adding a member at some point. I just don't know how soon they'll do it. All right, here we go. Commercial break. Anybody got any questions? Um, leave them in the chat. And I'm going to go grab a sip of something real quick while we're on commercial. And when I come back, let me know what you want to hear from me. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Man, I am having a night. I am having a night when it comes to this stream, and it's starting to affect my mood. Everybody, I'm sorry. All right, I'm back. Actually, I don't even know what the main event is. Oh, it's Tony D versus Cam Hendrix for the NXT title. Do we see Liv versus Stephanie Vaquero run it back for the World Championship at some point? Because I read Stephanie could be back on Raw sooner rather than later. Honestly, that just makes me. I feel like that's the case, George. I feel like that's what we're going to be getting, because why else would they keep having Liv hold onto this belt but not actually get in a feud with anybody? So that's what I think. Tyrell, good to see you, man. Do I see Tony D versus Roman some point down the road? I don't think so. I don't think they'll let Tony anywhere near Roman. It's just my opinion, though. I wouldn't hate it, but I don't see how we get there. Liv trying to make it all about herself, thing, or ego be undo it. Yeah, I Liv and Roxanne could be a thing if they decide to pull the trigger on that breakup. And those two, I bet, could have a good match with each other. All right, hi Tavion, back doing things. I'm trying to catch up to live, everybody. Sorry, it's been just so hard to stay current because my stream has been awful tonight. But yeah. So DarkState wins. I'm sorry, I missed the finish because Netflix sucks. So sorry about that, everybody. It is not last name. Not feeling very oozy at all. Myles is in his feelings. Not Myles, Tavion. Saquon watching like Hood Sting. Baseball bat and everything. Are we going to get a 6-man next week? When will they let Saquon Tatum and Zaria next week? We got Tatum and Zaria next week. We got the Mr. NXT thing next week. We've got Kendall and Kalani next week. Well, it hasn't been busy from Robert Stone. Lola Vice booked this match, apparently. I mean, listen, I'm pro Lola, but that's weird. Oh, and Mason Rook and Naraku. I forgot about that. That could be really fun. Shiloh. That hat, man, that's terrible. Okay. Time for the main event, everybody. Here comes Cam Hendrix. Okay. Yeah, for sure. This should be a Tony defense all day long. all day long. Yeah, I feel like Naraku probably gets involved somehow. Um, Maybe Mason Rook gets involved too. We'll have to see how that goes, even though Stone told him not to get involved. Will we see someone show up? I don't think we'll see anybody new show up. I think the title picture is pretty established right now. There's, Tony the champion, obviously Cam Hendrix who's getting the shot tonight. You got Mason Rook lined up, and you've got Naraku lined up. I don't think you need to introduce anybody else into the title picture right now. So I think having four names there is good enough to work with. Yeah, Kalani. I mean, I could see a triple threat at Great American Bash with Kalani, Kendall, and Lola, but I just wonder how you book yourself out of the match next week then, because they did that with Lola and Kendall with the tap out um, pin thing back at, was it New Year's Evil? I get no, not that far back, but they were in New York for that match. I remember. Mm. Yeah, Tyrell. Tony ain't dropping that title. Not to this fool. Absolutely not. All right, so we're down to the final 15 of the show tonight, and the champion is making his entrance. Okay. Yeah, George, I'm hoping he doesn't give too much offense to Cam Hendrix, if I'm being honest. Cam's not a bad character. He's got that Trick Williams kind of swagger to him, but he's not. I don't love his little emote, and but I give him marks for effort though. Duh. Big Joseph calling out Booker T for not knowing the Heisman pose. Oh, Cam with a big kick to start off. Cam Hendricks trying to do a Cameron Grimes, spamming the finisher right at the beginning. We're trying to give Cam something. Oh, there's Naraku in front row. Cam looks in disbelief that 3 moves couldn't put down the NXT champion. I don't think so, Cam. Also, does he have sparkly gloves on? What? There you go. Just picked up Cam and tackled him right to the ground. There you go, Tony. Oh, choke slam. Nope. Oh, little ring rope uh, throwing inside the ring. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Channeling as Michael Jackson. Yeah, you might be right there, Celeste. Right. Yeah, he needs a moonwalk. Hit him with a smooth criminal. Kick there from Cam. Clothesline misses. Oh, kind of a launching Death Valley Drive, a little launching attitude adjustment. Man, Tony just throwing Cam. Clothesline over the top. Ooh, big spill by Cam. Ooh, Naraku standing and staring. Naraku standing behind the title in the crowd. Cam froze. Okay. As we continue into what I assume will be our last commercial break of the evening, I want to thank you guys up front already for joining with me tonight to watch another episode of NXT. Yeah, I think our marked moments of the night so far, mostly the women's division, man. Lola Vice, just flush cracking. Um, Kendall Gray. We might get some dungeon action between Natty and Jada. Um, yeah, some, and then of course, Michael Lockwood power bombing Tate Wilder was also visually impressive too. Who do I think should take the IC title off Penta? That's a good question. I think you got a few options. Um, I think Ethan Page is a good option. Um, Depending on what they want to do with this whole new bloodline thing, Jacob Fatu is a good option. Chad Gable is a very good option. Honestly, I think that might be the best option of the three right now. Should be somebody who is heel or heel-ish. And I think it would be very poetic for it to be Chad Gable, for him to go through the whole luchador journey. And his issues with Penta and other luchadors is what led him into the El Grande Americano thing in the first place. So for him to have taken that journey, get unmasked, and then come back better, would make for a good story for him to take the belt off Penta. And then you could elevate Penta if you want to. Or if you wanted to, put him with his brother, you could do that too if you want to. But Penta has made himself marketable as a solo star. So I don't know that you have to put him with Phoenix until you just don't have any other options left. Just my opinion. All right, Tony's still in control here. I'm sure you don't really want to bury Cam Hendrix, and this is his first like real big time match. But I think having Tony just handle his business is worth it. Because I don't think anybody sees Cam as in Tony's league. Fisherman suplex. Only two. Tony gives a great spine buster, by the way. Last name, who do you think should beat Penta for the IC title? Oh, feet on the ropes. Almost stole that victory. But Tony's back on his feet. Right hand. Suplex. Only two. Naraku jumped the barrier at some point too and is now standing right by the belt. Oh, big kick there from Cam. Seated powerbomb. Only two. Loud chance for Tony. Throwing bombs back and forth. Yeah, well, Stone did tell Mason to stay away, and Mason doesn't have a title shot next week, but picks him right up at a power bomb right off the ropes. And only two. Man, Cam is hanging with him. Mason gets Naraku next week, and it seemed to be, according to Tony, that if he won, he'd get the next title shot. Little stun gun there from Cam. Cam looking for a chair. Oh, there's a foot. There's Mason. Says, no. No chairs here. And wow, he eats a backdrop right onto the announce table. And off the ropes. Pop up. Slam. Dead to rights. 1, 2. That's 3. All right. Tony D, predictably, retains. Well, thanks for coming, Cam Hendrix. He's got some upside, but I think he can stay out of the title picture, though. Send him back down. He didn't scream main eventer to me. Not yet, anyway. So we'll see what Mason Rook has got for Naraku next week. Also, we've got Tatum and Zaria for the North American title and that Mr. NXT pageant as well. So we'll see what comes of it all. But yeah, some great moments this week. And also Kendall and Kalani going for the number one contendership to Lola Vice as well. So here's Naraku presenting the belt to Tony D. And yeah, bows to Tony. Naraku. It is a number one contenders match. Rook versus Naraku next week. Very interesting. All right, so it's now officially a number one contenders match. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Jada and Natty highlight of the night. Yeah, I was definitely the most locked in for that than I was anything. So thank you all for joining me. As always, appreciate your time and attention and conversation. We'll be back next week, of course, with more goodies and more NXT and maybe more added to the set as well. So thanks for joining me again. Have a great night, everybody. Don't forget to be a mark, because we always say this. Being a mark means you believe in believing. Makes wrestling better. I'll see you guys next week. Take care of yourselves, and thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next